The woods breathed secrets. Secrets Lyra, a girl seemingly of earth but not quite, craved. Her eyes, the colour of a twilight sky, held a wisdom beyond her years, a wisdom born of stars and stardust, of journeys across galaxies. She was different, alone. Lyra had a gift, or perhaps a curse. She could speak to animals. Their thoughts, raw and untamed, filled her mind. Birdsong became conversation. The rustling of squirrels, whispers of warning. Yet none called to her like the wolves. Deep in the emerald heart of the woods, she found them. A pack of 6, their silver coats shimmering under the moon. Their eyes, intelligent and wary, met hers. No fear flickered in their gaze, only a deep, primal recognition. Lyra spoke, her voice a mere murmur on the wind. "I see you." The Alpha, a magnificent creature with fur the colour of storm clouds, dipped his head, acceptance, and in that moment Lyra's lonely heart found a home. Days bled into weeks, the rhythm of the forest, her solace. Lyra learned their ways, the silent language of scent and sound. The wolves, in turn, responded to her presence, a strange, fragile creature accepted into their midst. But it was more than that. She felt it first in the dead of night, a low hum vibrating beneath her hand as she rested it on the Alpha's fur. His eyes, usually a piercing gold, glowed with an inner light. An energy thrummed around them, ancient and powerful. The other wolves, too, possessed this strange energy. They moved with a speed and grace that defied nature. Their senses were heightened, their howls echoing with an almost unearthly resonance. These were no ordinary wolves. One moonlit night, as Lyra sat amongst them, the Alpha turned his amber gaze upon her. "We are guardians," he rumbled, his voice a deep thrum in her mind, "protectors of the old ways. And you." His gaze intensified. "You carry the mark." The mark. It was more than just a symbol. It was a beacon, a call to a destiny she had yet to fully understand. From the moment it appeared, it was as if the universe had whispered secrets to her, secrets she was only beginning to unravel. Lyra had always known, deep down, that she was different. Her reflection often seemed like a stranger, a reminder of the mysteries that lay beneath her skin. She would spend hours by the water, searching for answers in the ripples, hoping the reflection would speak back. A strange symbol, a swirling pattern of stars adorned her wrist. It was not just a mark, but a map, a guide to a destiny written in the stars. Each line and curve seemed to pulse with life, as if it held the key to her very existence. It pulsed with a faint heat, a constant reminder of her unknown past. The warmth was both comforting and unsettling, a silent promise of power and responsibility. It was a connection to a world she had never seen, yet felt deeply within her soul. Her parents, if they could be called that, had told her stories. They spoke of legends and myths, of heroes and villains, of a time when the stars themselves sang songs of hope and despair. These tales were more than bedtime stories. They were fragments of a history she was destined to reclaim. Tales of a distant planet, of a people who could command the very fabric of the universe, a civilization that thrived under the light of 1,000 suns, their power unmatched, their wisdom unparalleled. But with great power came great peril, and their enemies were many. A people hunted, driven into hiding. Their enemies sought to extinguish their light, to erase their legacy from the annals of time. They became shadows, whispers in the dark, their once great civilization reduced to mere legends, and Lyra their last hope. She was the final starseed, the one who could reignite the flame of their legacy. Her determination was unwavering, her spirit unbreakable. She was destined to rise, to lead, to reclaim what was lost. Sent to earth as a babe, entrusted to a kindly couple who found her on their doorstep, they raised her with love and care, unaware of the cosmic significance of the child they had taken in. To them, she was simply Lyra, their beloved daughter. The wolves, their amber eyes reflecting the moon's pale glow, confirmed her suspicions. They were not ordinary creatures, they were guardians, sentinels of the ancient power that flowed through her veins. Their presence was a sign, a call to action. They were connected, their fates intertwined. The wolves were her protectors, her guides in the journey that lay ahead. Together they would face the challenges, the dangers, and the mysteries that awaited them. "The hunter is coming," the Alpha growled, his words sending a shiver down Lyra's spine. The hunter, a relentless pursuer of the star seeds, was drawing near. His presence was a dark cloud on the horizon, a threat that could not be ignored. "He seeks the last starseed." The words echoed in her mind, a chilling reminder of the danger she faced. The hunter would stop at nothing to capture her, to end the legacy of her people once and for all. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through Lyra's newfound peace. The weight of her destiny pressed down on her, the reality of her situation sinking in. She was the last hope, but she was also a target, a beacon for those who sought to destroy her. The wolves, their powerful forms radiating a primal energy, circled her protectively. She was not alone. Their presence was a comfort, a reminder that she had allies in this fight. Together they would stand against the darkness, against the hunter. But the weight of their words, the burden of her heritage, pressed down on her. The hunter was coming. She could feel the urgency, the need to prepare, to embrace her destiny. The time for hiding was over, the time for action had begun. Section 4. Echoes of a distant past. Sleep offered no respite. Lyra tossed and turned, her mind a battlefield of fragmented memories and haunting visions. The night was thick with an oppressive silence, broken only by her restless movements. Visions, fragments of memories not her own, haunted Lyra's dreams. She saw places she had never been, faces she'd never met, and events she had never experienced. Each image was vivid, almost tangible, as if she were living someone else's life. A planet bathed in the light of two suns. The sky was a canvas of swirling colors, unlike anything on Earth. The heat from the twin suns was palpable, making the air shimmer and distort. People with skin like polished obsidian and eyes like molten gold. They moved with a grace and purpose that was both mesmerizing and intimidating. Their presence was commanding, and their eyes seemed to pierce through her very soul. Their hands, crackling with energy, reached out to her. The energy was both warm and electrifying, sending shivers down her spine. It was as if they were trying to communicate, to transfer some ancient knowledge or power to her. She saw the hunter, a shadowy figure radiating an aura of menace. His presence was a stark contrast to the others. He was a predator and she was his prey. The air around him seemed to darken, and a chill ran through her. His eyes, burning with a cold fire, searched for her. They were relentless, unyielding, and filled with a malevolent intent. She could feel his gaze, even in the depths of her dreams, and it terrified her. The weight of his gaze, heavy with malice, pressed down on her, suffocating her. Then silence. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, but the fear remained, lingering like a dark cloud over her consciousness. Lyra woke with a gasp. The sheets tangled around her legs. Her heart was pounding, and her body was drenched in sweat. The remnants of the dream clung to her, refusing to fade away. The forest was quiet, save for the gentle rustling of leaves. The night was calm, a stark contrast to the turmoil in her mind. The cool air was a welcome relief, but it did little to soothe her racing thoughts. But the fear lingered, a knot in her stomach. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The dream had felt too real, too vivid to be just a figment of her imagination. She was a starseed, the last of her kind. The weight of her heritage pressed down on her, a constant reminder of her responsibility. She had a mission, a purpose, but the path ahead was shrouded in uncertainty, and she was being hunted. The hunter was relentless, and he would stop at nothing to find her. She had to stay one step ahead, always vigilant, always on the move. The wolves sensed her turmoil. They were her guardians, her protectors. Their presence was a comfort, a reminder that she was not alone in this fight. They surrounded her, a silent, comforting presence. Their eyes, filled with understanding and loyalty, gave her strength. They were her family, her pack, and they would stand by her no matter what. "We will protect you," the Alpha vowed, his voice a low rumble in her mind. His words were a promise, a bond that could not be broken. She felt a surge of gratitude and determination. "But the choice, little one, is yours to make." The Alpha's words echoed in her mind. She knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger, but she also knew that she had the strength and the support to face it. The decision was hers, and she was ready to embrace her destiny. Section 5. The Mark. The mark on Lyra's wrist throbbed, a beacon in the growing darkness. It was a symbol of power, a connection to an ancient lineage that she had only begun to uncover. The mark had appeared on her skin one fateful night, glowing with an ethereal light that seemed to pulse in time with her heartbeat. It pulsed with an energy that was both hers and not, a link to a past she barely understood. This energy was a double-edged sword, offering her strength but also drawing attention from forces she could barely comprehend. Each pulse was a reminder of the legacy she carried, a legacy that was both a gift and a burden. The hunter was drawn to it. She could feel his presence like a shadow creeping across the sun. He was relentless, a figure shrouded in mystery and menace, always one step behind her. His pursuit was not just a hunt, it was a quest for the power that the mark represented. She had a choice to make. The crossroads before her were not just physical, but symbolic of the paths her life could take. Each path was fraught with its own dangers and uncertainties, and the weight of the decision was almost paralyzing. Run and hide, hoping against hope that the hunter wouldn't find her. This path was tempting, offering a semblance of safety and anonymity. But deep down she knew that running would only delay the inevitable confrontation, or embrace her destiny, whatever that may be. Embracing her destiny meant facing her fears head-on, accepting the power of the mark and understanding the responsibilities that came with it. It was a path of courage and self-discovery, one that required her to be stronger than she ever thought possible. The weight of the decision pressed down on her, heavy and suffocating. It was as if the very air around her had thickened, making it hard to breathe. Every fibre of her being was screaming for relief, for a way out of this impossible situation. The wolves, their eyes reflecting her own fear and uncertainty, offered no answers. They were her guardians, bound to her by ancient oaths, but they could not make the choice for her. Their glowing eyes seemed to pierce through her soul, mirroring the turmoil within. They were sworn to protect her, but the choice ultimately was hers. The wolves formed a protective circle around her, their presence a comforting yet stark reminder of the gravity of her situation. They could defend her from physical threats, but the internal battle was hers alone to fight. Lyra looked at their fierce, loyal faces, felt the ancient wisdom in their gaze. The connection she felt with them was profound, a bond that transcended words. Their loyalty was unwavering, and in their eyes she saw a reflection of the strength she needed to find within herself. "There has to be another way," she whispered, her voice trembling with unshed tears. The desperation in her voice was palpable, a plea for an alternative to the stark choices before her. She longed for a path that would allow her to fulfill her destiny without losing herself in the process. The Alpha stepped forward, his silver head brushing against her hand. His touch was gentle, a silent reassurance that she was not alone. The Alpha's presence was a reminder of the strength and wisdom that came from unity and trust. "There is always a choice, little one," he rumbled. "But some choices require greater strength than others." His words resonated deeply within her, a reminder that the path of least resistance was not always the right one. The strength to make the hard choices was within her, waiting to be discovered.